had 4 profitable months as a business, and I'm starting to actually pay myself now and invest in bigger items and independent contractors. So the economics are way better. I'd be probably working harder and bleeding more money for sure if I didn't have the clear guidance on how to make my business profitable. This whole year, I've been owning everything myself, and I've been careful to outsource things. And this was actually my brother's advice, who's another founder. He's like, don't outsource something until you know how to do it yourself.
Hmm.
Now that I understand this content funnel, I know how to start to bring in help in the right way rather than just like assume someone's going to solve it for me.
What other options or things were you considering a few months back before you engaged?
Big one I was considering was hiring a CMO. Like I was pretty close to just putting it on LinkedIn or Instagram. I was probably going to give up a lot of equity in the company and have to support a full-time employee. Instead, I think that's what really caught my eye with Scale Wellness. It's like, oh shit, this is just like learn how to be your own CMO. I honestly think it replaced my need for a CMO. And then now I can just delegate to content creators, video editors, and a creative brief contractor, but
Hmm.
not actually need a full-time CMO, at least at this stage. Creating and iterating meta ads is something I had no idea how to do. I was investing in packaged ads from other companies that were expensive, and I had no idea how to iterate them. One of the biggest takeaways I've had is whenever I get a video from a creator or from a customer, I now know how to turn that one video into 8, knowing what to look for in terms of potential viral hooks, testing different formats. I get so many comments from customers or friends that are like, Derek Hill's killing the marketing game. Like, you guys have so many good, funny ads. The whole process of being able to source videos, iterate videos, and multiply winners is massive.
How long do you think you would say it took to really get familiar with the ad account? A lot of people, they kind of open up the dashboard and they're really intimidated by the metrics and tracking things.
I had experience running ads, but I had no experience creating and iterating ads. I think that took me at least a month or two to feel comfortable running. But then in terms of from Scale Wellness, I learned a lot more about different metrics to be looking at. Like specifically, I hadn't been looking at the hold rate. I didn't know good benchmarks for all of the CPMs, the hook rates, click through rate. It was a whole new side of Facebook ads for me, just like faster iteration cycles than what I had done before.
Which of the resources would you say have been the most useful?
I think the PDP wireframe was super helpful. It was like, okay, cool. Here's exactly what I need to do for my website. It was a huge improvement from what I did the first time around. The funnel calculator, definitely. I think the unit economics made it really clear what our target goals were. Tracking the funnel dashboard over time has been really helpful. I do it every week. I think we had a couple early big wins. One of them was just the decision to increase prices. I think it cleaned it up a lot. It helped AOV. So that was a huge early win.
You seem to have a natural edge with content. Any advice to other founders or folks who are maybe a little bit uncomfortable with doing the content thing themselves or just with trying to get that process up and running?
Thanks. Yeah, it's funny because I've always been an engineer, so I'm never thought of myself as super creative, but I feel like the content thing just I feel like understanding your product and your target customer is huge. And I think it's really been helpful that I'm lactose intolerant and was frustrated for years about these issues. I love self-improvement and just feeling better on a daily basis in terms of cutting out caffeine or knowing what you're intolerant to food-wise. I think just the general concept of making everyone feel more comfortable on a day-to-day basis, avoid discomfort and embarrassment is a huge one. Like it's just my whole life has been so embarrassing to be lactose intolerant. I'm very passionate about making it not lame to be lactose intolerant. Like 35% of Americans are, and we all still want to eat pizza and ice cream. Luckily, there's an easy fix. I think allowing people to eat the foods they love without embarrassment or discomfort is definitely my driving force.
What does the next phase look like?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think this has changed a lot. I've thought about going down the fundraising path, which the more I've learned about this space, the less that seems appealing. Nowadays, it seems like the only time you can raise money is when your business is profitable. And if your business is profitable, you don't need the money. So that's been a huge mindset shift for me. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world if you can keep it lean and efficient and you don't have to waste your time with investors and everybody else. You can make probably just as much money. My current plan is to keep it bootstrapped for as long as possible. I see a bunch of significant product improvements in the next 12 months. Like I still think that's the number one goal is never stop iterating the product. I think my goal is I'm already starting to do it now that Dairy Pill's generating some profit, is figuring out where I'm spending my time and hiring contractors for each one of those things. So that's been really cool. So yeah, hopefully 12 months from now, we're at least 10x the size and continuing to stay super lean and really dialed in acquisition funnel.
Is there specific role in the business that you think you ultimately want to play long term?
I think I'm best at like product and customer experience. And that's what excites me the most, especially with my engineering background. Yeah, just paying attention to the little details, implementing customer feedback. And I love the like surprising customers with new drops. Just really like customer experience with the product and all the ads and like communication. Like just like every touch point with the customer is what I really enjoy.
Yeah, nice, man. It's cool to get to the point where you validated the offer enough and you have enough momentum to have some resources to play with to be able to build out the team and minimize the risk that it typically you take on if you do outsource something too soon. It's just like another layer of leverage when you can install people in the right way at the right time. Who do you think would benefit the most from our process versus somebody who might choose to work with an agency?
I think it's been a really great fit for me as the solo founder. It's so overwhelming with how many things come across your desk. So I think you guys were super good at staying focused. Like I really loved that approach of one thing at a time. First, we're going to get the traffic, then we're going to increase conversion rates and then retention later. So I would say small team companies and specifically solo founders and people that want to systematize and scale a lean business, because I think that it's so easy to get bloated quickly. And looking back, I had 3 different people that I even tried to bring on, and they just either didn't really resonate with the mission or like the timing wasn't right. And I think it's been honestly so cool just to build it out solo. Like it saves a ton of time, saves a ton of energy, and avoids co-founder tension that can destroy a company. So yeah, I would say it's like solo founders like me.
Yeah, happy to hear that. That's essentially what we're trying to do here, empower founders to own the growth and just really get good with the foundational stuff so that when they build out the team, there's not a lot of question marks. We want to get to the point where we're able to look high level and understand what the constraint is so that we can focus the limited time and resources on solving that piece of the puzzle before we move on to the next. It is pretty mind blowing the variety of stages of businesses where they're still trying to figure this stuff out. And it's just so much easier to do it as you go at the beginning before there's like all these people involved.
Yeah, it's that bloat. Like, what's your payback period or what's your day zero profitability? They're like, I have no clue. They're just like pumping money into it. This day and age, too, is so important to not grow unprofitably. Like, there's just not the fundraising environment that there used to be. I have a competitor that has twice as many Instagram followers as me, and I think they've sold probably like 2 or 3 times much as me, and I've been pretty nervous about that. And my brother was like, dude, don't worry. You guys are still tiny. It's whoever can build the most profitable economic engine will be the long-term winner. It doesn't matter where you're at now. It's just what are your metrics? If you can get all that dialed in, then you just turn the dial. and scale infinitely. So yeah, I think it's so important to get that figured out right away versus years from now when you have so much baggage and bloat in your company. And yeah, once again, thanks again. I really appreciate all the help. I would not be here where I'm at right now without Scale Wellness. I'm super stoked. I'll continue to spread the word to any other wellness founders I know. And yeah, love what you guys are doing.
Hell yeah, dude.